Welcome to Midnight Madness at the Toronto International Film Festival. My name is Peter Kaplowski, and I am so excited for tonight. But to begin, we would like to acknowledge that tonight's event is taking place on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the New Credit and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. We are grateful for the opportunity to work with the community today and every day going forward. Thank you. This film is eligible for the Gross People's Choice Midnight Madness Award. To vote, go to tiff.net/vote. You got to put your email address in so that we can be sure that you bought a ticket and saw the movie. That's how it works. That's how you vote. We would also like to thank RSVP for providing us with this film. Give it up for RSVP. So I have been talking about this movie all week because when I started programming for Midnight Madness, I had one big goal, and that was I wanted to play a film from India. And I'm going to admit it, I am not an expert on Indian cinema. But in the last few years, I've been going to Young and Dundas, and I've been watching some amazing Bollywood movies, and my mind has been melting. I've been going, holy moly, like this. I feel like I'm in high school, and I'm watching John Woo and Choi Hark and Jackie Chan for the first time. I'm seeing these incredible stars, incredible movies, and they have an amazing catalog of films. And what I really hope after you watch this movie tonight is that it inspires you to seek out Indian genre cinema, because it is some of the most exciting cinema in the world. And this film is a love letter, not only to Bollywood cinema, but to Midnight Madness, really. It's about the films that we all love, made by a filmmaker who is one of you guys. He's been in the audience almost every night watching movies with you. Put your hands together for Vasan Bala! And with him, Abhimanyu Dasani and RadhikaMadan! So what would you like to say to this audience?
Oh, I've just heard about this. I had come the other day to watch Assassination Nation and kind of got a taste for it. And yeah, I mean, and this is how I watched movies when I was a kid. And to be coming with this film, with this kind of an audience, I think, it's a dream come true. Wouldn't have had it any other way. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, I wanted to do something special tonight because we're almost at the end of the festival and we've seen a lot of amazing movies. We're also about to watch a Bollywood film, and the great things about Indian cinema and Indian genre cinema is that it's all genres. It's a hybrid of genres, and you know there's going to be some great music. So I prepared a little thing. It's with the help of Landon Zackheim, who wrote this, and with many apologies to Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'd like to start the backing music, please. And so the assassination nation begins with the films all scattered to the wind. Strickland's in the United Kingdom, finishing in fabric will never be free until we screen Netrotronic. When we finally see that the climax is bleak, we're waiting at the standoff at Sparrow Creek. How did I know Demon Tenno would work? We had a spy on the inside. That's right, Michael Myers.
Coming in, I'm studying 40 years institutionalized, but I'm not healed. I've been church here and telling me the death is the shape of the devil eyes, and I am loving it. Now all these scenes, he be acting like some ruffian and saying shit now, somebody gotta muzzle it. Michael Austrie Myers, you got no introduction, you knock me down and get the fuck back up again.
We negotiate the terms of our screening slots. I see Colin Getty's smile. We escort their fans out of Ryerson. They stagger home, single file, tens of thousands of people's ballot choice winners. There are beach balls thrown and air horns ringing, and as the predator retreats, I hear the Midnight Madness song they're singing. The man who feels no pain. 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 That's why watch this movie! Oh yeah. We have the choreographers in the house. Eric Jacobus and Dennis Rule. Get up on stage. Woo! All right. You guys figure out some questions. I'm going to start this thing off. All right. Yeah, that was so much fun. Okay, Vasan, is this at all autobiographical?
A few things happened. A lot of it didn't, obviously. I don't have the abs. And yeah, but the mugging incident did happen. My mom did lose a chain. And the area where we grew up, I mean, this was like very common. And I had once seen her come back home, and and she looked shaken. And I came to know that this had happened. And so I would go to the street and just stand there thinking, those muggers will be coming back, and I'll probably take care of them. Obviously, that never happened. And you think you'll join karate, and you'll become tougher, and you'll take care of that menace. But yeah, post that, seriously, there were some riots and bomb blasts that happened, and then everyone forgot the muggers.
You found two incredible actors to be in this movie. How did you go about getting them involved? What was the process in casting and finding them? And what was it like to be in the film and learning all the martial arts to the cast? Yes.
Yeah. So it was like a long process. I mean, it took at least a year. We were trying to test actors. We were trying to test martial artists, everyone. So I found this boy, and he was like really shy, not even talking to anyone, and was probably come back from a workout. And so I don't usually do auditions. Just take like people whom I think can become the characters, and just put them in like a workshop, and just shoot them. And so it becomes a little frustrating because they don't know what they are really doing. And within that, there is some magic which I obviously saw in him. And I was so certain that he was the boy after 1.5 months of auditions. And she just walked into the office, and I'm like, yeah, you're Supri.
How do you guys feel to be in an action movie?
Okay, so to be very honest, I had never watched an action film in my entire life. And I used to, like, if given an option, I would go for a rom-com and not the action one at all. So when he just saw me, and he was like, oh, so this is your character and this is the script you're offering. And I had actually come there to audition for some other thing, some other movie. It was a very romantic movie, and like the typical Bollywood movie, and I was so excited for it. He just pulled me, and he was like, so this is the film, and you're selected. And I was like, sir, okay, the script is great, but I don't like action. He was like, don't worry. So I had to go through a very intensive training, and he gave me a list of films that I had to watch.
Ooh, what was down that list? Do you remember?
Like a lot of action films. And I used to make myself sit in front of the television and watch the film. Like it, Radhika, like it. So that was the process for me. So I trained myself for good 8-9 months, and lived the life of a martial artist. And that's how it happened for me. And then I became passionate, of course.
Amazing.
Yeah, he was already passionate.
I mean, I grew up on Jackie Chan films and Sammo Hung and Bruce Lee, but I was a really, really fat kid, so I could never do any of that. But after spending those 1.5 months with Vasan sir, I kind of had a bond with him, and I just knew that I wanted to work with him. It didn't matter what he was working on. And when he told me about this, it was like bringing all my childhood dreams back to life. So the next 8 months, I mean, the only thing I saw, ate, lived in was martial arts. So this was all 8 months between her and me. Yeah.
That's amazing. And now, speaking of the training, I'd love to hear from the masters on the stage, Eric and Dennis. How did you get involved? I don't know if anyone is familiar with these guys. They're amazing stunt performers and choreographers. They've made a bunch of amazing lo-fi, low-budget, independent martial art films that you should absolutely check out. You can check out this short film, Rope-a-Dope, that is amazing, that I played at Toronto After Dark a few years ago. But how did you guys get involved in this movie?
I think Vasan just emailed me and he said, "Hey, I saw Rope-a-Dope. I want you to do it in India." And Dennis and I did Rope-a-Dope in 2013, and Rope-a-Dope is like two stunt guys playing the main roles and doing all the acting. There's no doubling. It's kind of a Hong Kong style of a shoot. And I told Vasan, I was like, "You want to make a Bollywood movie like that? Are you sure? You know what that means? That means like no stunt doubles. We got to put the camera in these like very non-Hollywood angles. We have to do the shoot very differently than what what like a Netflix show does. It's very different." And he said, yes, of course, of course. And he totally lived by it. And then the next thing was, all right, well, let's meet our talent, because if we're going to be able to shoot this, we can't use stunt doubles. And we did not use a stunt double. I challenge you to watch this and find one. So it's like a miracle.
Now, the other question I have before I throw it to the audience is about the fighting style. Because every character kind of has its own style, and I'd love to hear from Vasan about the ideas behind that, even from the cast. Tell us about the choreography specifically.
Yeah, I mean, the master obviously had to be like a mythical one. Either, he has either a limb missing or an eye, or, on both his eyes. That's how one becomes a master. I mean, so the 100-man fight, it comes from the Kyokushin discipline, but no Indian has ever done it, but we've kind of gone with that myth. So that was like one of the main inspirations to start with. And then obviously, this guy watches movies, and Eric and Dennis came up with this whole thing of Supri having her scarf as a weapon. And that, I thought, was like one of the most brilliant ideas I've ever seen or heard. And I mean, though, when I think for the first time when I told her that's what it's going to be, I think she was like really. But on all the previous videos that they used to send me, I mean, I could see so much potential in them. And, just see her kind of, use that scarf, which is like pretty unique. And I hope, back home people actually use that. There are some incidents that are happening which I'm not too proud to kind of share that, and probably could be useful. And yeah, with more detail and more passion and more things, I think Eric will fill it up.
And well, I would also like to talk about the third man who's not here, Gulshan, who played Karate Money.
Jimmy and Manny. I don't know if people realize that was literally the same actor for both characters. It's amazing performance. Jimmy and Manny.
Wow. When we did, the reason we really wanted to do this job too is because it's a choreographer's dream to have a guy on one leg and a guy who can't feel pain, and someone wearing, and a woman wearing a scarf who's not a superhero. It's like she's among heroes. She has to use her head. She has to use an object, and so we have three very different styles that we get to work with. So we were in heaven when we were doing this. And so it was like a playground working with Vasan, and he would always throw in his 2 cents, and that was like a long back and forth for a month between us. And we really just kind of built all that from the ground up with him and our stunt team, and with the actors too. They would give a lot of input. I got no complaints.
Do we have questions from the audience? Come on. Yes, right there. Was the grandfather's look inspired by Mr. Miyagi?
I mean, that's one of the most, yeah. And two, it's also based on my grandpa, whom I used to call Ajoba. Like, he was a flawed guy, but a great guy, and encouraged me to watch a lot of movies. encouraged me to watch Olympics every 4 years, and encouraged me to be like one of those sportsmen. I mean, there used to be a great gymnast called Nadia Comaneci, and that was like a huge inspiration from my grandpa, and he actually expected me to do those things. He had a, well, I couldn't do those things, but yeah, probably just had to write something for him.
Back there was a question. Yep. The question was the inspiration for Radhika's character.
I think many. Also, here's a larger point that I always wanted to make. I think when men make martial arts films, and they kind of try and show women as being really badass, I think we tend to become a little too patronizing sometimes, and there is a danger of over underlining our great intent of being chauvinists and liberated and feminists. But I think with Supri's character, I think I was at least very conscious that it's not patronizing, but it is okay to kick ass. It is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to cry. It is okay to show all your emotions, and you can still be badass. And it's not just the Nike ads, where you're like looking very intently into the screen and just are badass 24/7. Don't need to be that. And obviously, I mean, there's a great nod to the Raid. The Hammer Girl, Raid 2. So she wears the white skirt and the tan jacket. So she wears the exact same costume. So if Gareth Evans is watching, rip off.
We'll tell Gareth.
Yeah.
Other question. Yes, right there as well. How much water do you drink?
6 liters a day.
Did you ever consider having the two legs kiss on screen?
I don't know. Strangely, that never occurred. I mean, I always kind of skipped that moment and was concentrating more into getting to the moon. I don't know. I think so. I think you must have figured out what school would have been for me, and where-
What was the inspiration? Sir?
that's like
want to repeat it for the balcony.
yeah. Sorry.
The inspiration for characters tripping and like undercutting those moments.
I think the oldest action comedies ever made were Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, and every joke starts with someone tripping, and I think those were the first action comedies made by two of the greatest stuntmen ever, and so that had to be a part of this film.
Do you have a final count for the number of homages and references you have in that movie?
Do you have a final count for the amount of references there are in this film?
No, I don't really have a count, but yeah, it's Hindi, Hollywood, Hong Kong, also Southern India, a lot of it, yeah. Yeah, a lot of.
We have time for one more question.
Oh wow. Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. In 3-4 years time I want to make like What's Bothering Gilbert Kid kind of a thing, and then go on to make a Titanic, and then Departed.
Was there a question at the back as well? There that you were waving your phone, or was that just so that we could see the guy? Okay. No. All right. What's next? Will there be a sequel? Will there be a sequel?
So, so what happened was, she. So what happens was she takes the morning pill and it doesn't work, and that's like Incredibles 2 and Hotel Transylvania.
The man who feels no pain. If you liked it, vote for the film. tiff.net/vote. And tell everybody to see the second screening.